Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. This is a podcast about the strange and unusual, the secret and conspiracy, the fringe and supernatural. This is a show where we do little to no research on our topics. We are not professionals in any field except speculation. This is the Secret Transmission Podcast. I am your host, Toby. I have all my friends with me. Go ahead and tell everyone who you are.
I'm Caleb Hawthorne. I'm an expert on nothing, but I'll give an opinion.
Kristen.
I'm Rudy.
Okay, guys. We've kind of touched on this subject a little bit in the past on a previous episode, the sleep paralysis episode. But we're going to dig into a specific topic of the sleep paralysis. Today we're going to talk about the shadow people. And one of our very own sitting at the table has stories of the shadow people. He's actually witnessed them.
A couple times, yeah.
So let's explain what sleep paralysis is, because some people believe that the shadow people is just a byproduct of the sleep paralysis.
What are shadow people?
Well, we'll get to it in just a second. So sleep paralysis is when a person is falling asleep or waking up and temporarily can't talk or move. Some people also have hallucinations during this state. Some examples of hallucination include people and things entering the room or touching them, electric shock currents running through their body. So it's pretty terrifying.
Basically, it's like having a dream, but feeling like you're awake.
Right. It's exactly like having a dream, and you're awake. You're in between the two. So
basically, your brain's still producing DMT, but you're not sleeping.
Well, you're in. It's called. Let me look it up real quick. I got it right.
I mean, if you're hallucinating and stuff like that.
So it's part of the REM sleep. REM sleep is the rapid eye movement of when you're asleep, and I think that's what causes you to dream. There's REM atonia. I think I butchered the word last time we said it too, but REM atonia is what happens when your body it's your body kind of shuts down while you're dreaming. Mm-hmm. So like if you dream that you're Bruce Lee, you're not actually kicking and punching. Your body shuts down because of this. It's not sending the signals. That's why you don't kick and stuff, and you don't act out your dreams.
Right.
Where did you get Bruce Lee from? I'm sorry. I know this
Ninja.
is probably off target,
Ninjas.
but like, have you ever dreamed that you were Bruce Lee?
You just stay out of my dreams.
Okay.
But
I'll try, but
yeah, you'll have to try, my friend. So that is what people believe that the sleep paralysis is, and that's what they believe. People, when you're dreaming, you see shapes and stuff. So people see shapes like in the shadows, and they think that they're people because you're dreaming.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Right.
So, tell us about your experiences and whatnot.
I know one for sure was just a hyper-realistic dream. Because my mom and my niece were standing in one of the corners and they were very misshapen. But I was in the exact room that I was sleeping in and everything was the same. But they were just standing there and they were all grotesque and weird and stuff.
Were they actually there?
No.
So it was a dream. They were.
But it was just one of those. It was a very realistic dream, which can be confused for sleep paralysis. The other times, I know for a fact I was awake, but I could not move. I could not do anything. I could just lay there and just be like, ah. And it is the most terrifying experience to just lay there. You can't move. You can't do anything. You can't scream. You can't do nothing. And your body is still shut down from whatever chemical that shuts you down when you sleep.
That REM atonia or whatever.
Right. So your conscious mind wakes up before your subconscious allows your body to wake up.
Right.
So you're just chilling, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it is just absolutely terrifying.
See, me and Kristen, when we did the sleep paralysis episode, we watched a video of a woman who had fallen asleep and her husband was filming her, and she was in the sleep paralysis mode, I guess, and she was trying to have a conversation. You can hear her mumbling, and he's recording, and he's like, "Yep, there she is. She can't move. She's asleep, but she's awake right now, and she can hear every word I say."
Right.
And then they added captions on the video that said, "I was awake right here. I could, and I was trying to speak to my husband," and it was really weird. Like, so, I mean, I don't even know how to compare that not being able to move or do anything. That's weird.
I've never had any of the visions, hallucinations. I've never had any kind of creatures or anything weird. Now, I will say that usually when I do have a sleep paralysis dream, I'm having nightmares before I wake up.
Right.
Like, bad nightmares. And boom, I'm awake, and there's nothing I can do about it.
So you...
I know what you're saying. Like, when I was younger, I would have dreams and then wake up and try to scream for my parents or something, but it's like I couldn't expel enough. Like, I just couldn't get any...
Couldn't get the words out.
Yeah, I couldn't get any pressure on it. Like,
Right.
I couldn't make myself move, but eventually I woke up. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you having a dream and you wake up like enough to like but you're paralyzed.
Right.
So like, say you're having a dream and Freddy Krueger's chasing you. I don't know why I chose Freddy Krueger, so don't ask, Caleb.
He's a typical nightmare monster,
Right.
so, you know.
I think
So-
you just like red and green sweaters, baby.
Well, I'm wearing one right now. So Freddy Krueger's chasing you in the dream, and you wake up, and you know that it's a dream, but you still can't move. Now, is that how it works?
Well,
Or are you still in a dreamlike state? I don't know how I'm trying to explain this.
typically in my experiences, I've had the bad dream, and I'm jolted out of it. I'm awake. My eyes are open. I can, kind of look around, see where I'm at. I can't do anything. I just lay there. I can't scream. I can't move. Nothing.
Right. So is it like, okay, you're in a forest and bad guy is chasing you through a forest with a chainsaw, whatever.
Right.
And then that's when you wake up, you snap out of it, and you're in your room, and you know it was a dream, but you still can't move?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Consciously, I'm awake. I know I'm awake. I know I just had a bad dream, but I can't move. I'm
Right.
physically unable to do anything for... I think the longest time I was just laying there felt like an eternity, but maybe in 30 seconds.
Right, because it's time probably feels like it's forever because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not
Well,
able to move.
I thought sleep paralysis was whenever you wake up and you're still, but you feel like you can't move, but it's all happening in the room that you're in. Like, I haven't ever heard of anything happening outside of like what you're saying, like
Well, that's what
something's chasing you or anything like that. All I've heard is just
No, that's what I'm
literally that
asking.
it's in your
It starts
room.
out in a dream and then it comes into, like, he snaps out of his dream and he's sitting in his bed or wherever and he knows that it was a dream. That's what I was asking. Like, does it start out as a nightmare in a forest and then you can wake up and you realize, okay, that was a dream because I was in a forest and this is...
versus
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
was asking.
Only one, like I said, the one time that I know it was just a hyper realistic dream was because my mom and my niece were there in the room with me, and I know they were. I know even in the dream, I knew they shouldn't have been there.
Right.
Because it's weird because my conscious mind was interacting with my subconscious mind in the dream,
Right.
and that particular dream, they both walked up to me and touched me, and I woke up,
Weird.
and I woke up in exactly the same room, only they were gone.
So they touched you and you woke up. Now, were you still paralyzed?
No.
When they touched you? When they touched you, was it all over?
Yep. When they touched me, I woke up and I was able to move and stuff. But it was one of those sensations of it felt real, but I know it wasn't real.
Right.
Whereas the other times, I was in a dreamlike state, having a very, very, very bad dream, and I was jolted out of my dream into the waking state, and I was frozen. I could not move.
Right.
When it was explained to me by a dude I knew who had it, he said that it felt like the first time it ever happened to him, he thought he was dead. Like, and his brain was still reacting.
Ooh.
Like
that's not a bad way to describe it.
Like
either.
he said, he cannot move. He can barely like make a rattling noise with his throat. That he can kind of move his eyes, but his girlfriend. He said he got his girlfriend at the time to slap him if he ever did it, and he said that didn't wake him up. It was just.
I wonder if it's dangerous to be jolted out of that. Like, if someone, like the video I was talking about, what if the husband would have shaken his wife to try to, like, I wonder if you can be pushed out.
I'm sure he's tried that, though.
Well, I wonder what the cause is, because, like, I mean, I've experienced certain symptoms, not all or many. Like, is it a subconscious thing or a chemical thing?
The sleep paralysis, it can be caused by insomnia, sleep deprivation, erratic sleep schedules, stress, overuse of stimulants, physical fatigue,
depression,
some
drugs,
medications,
just random life.
Yeah, and the big one that we found was sleeping in the supine position. It's a supine position is basically when you're laying on your back and your face up with just your arms down to your side. If you go back and listen to our sleep paralysis episode, our guest that we had on there, Karina, she used to sleep like she's in a coffin. She told us
creepy.
Yeah, she told us that every time she had her sleep paralysis episodes, she was sleeping like she had her arms crossed and she looked like Dracula just laying flat on her back. So
does it count if I sleep on my arms and wake up and can't move them?
Your arms are just asleep is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Well, this
pretty
may
much.
be weird for people, though, because if they are doing this and having the sleep paralysis, because it's a fact that after you do die, you have 7 to 8 minutes of brain activity, and they say that usually that's like a moment for like your life flashes back to you. So it's kind of weird for like if somebody was to say, well, it felt like I was dead, because, you know, if anybody does know that fact, that could happen. So it's kind of like, how do you deter that unless finally you just wake up and you're like, oh, great, I'm alive, we can continue. But yeah,
That's
there
what
is 7 to 8 minutes of brain activity after you die still. Your brain is still working, but your body is done.
That is one of my big fears, that after I die and my brain is still sitting there like, yep, you're
people.
dead. You're
Yeah.
dead.
They say your body can hear things and stuff, and like your brain activity is still going, and it like plays back like a mini like almost like a dream, like it's a short like dream of memories that's happened, and then it just ends.
I imagine when your body does that, you'd be I mean, your body has certain coping mechanisms, like different chemicals it secretes. You would probably be in a state of euphoria when that happened.
So it's not
Well, no,
it's not
it's
registering
not-
pain or something.
No, I mean, it's just kind of a feeling of grandeur. I don't know if y'all have ever
Well, that's the thing. I
experimented
don't
with
think that people can
chemicals or
actually
anything,
see
but I
it.
mean,
I don't think people actually know that it's happening, or they can experience
Yeah.
the memories. I think it's just a little like your brain firing off and quitting.
like most near-death experiences are attributed to dimethyltryptamine, which is, I would never do anything like that, but it's like most people who've done it outside of their brain actually creating it, they attribute it to like they've seen aliens and crazy stuff like that. It's just your body creates one of the most strongest hallucinogenic drugs in the world.
So
naturally.
I wonder if that's something that could be involved with the sleep paralysis.
It's very possible. I mean,
your brain just likes to get you high.
right.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's take a small break.
Okay.
We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hey, this is Chris Carlson, host of the Wire and Wick podcast. What is the Wire and Wick podcast, you ask? Well, it's a little of this and a little of that. I cover some of the biggest stories every week, from politics, social issues, all the way to people just being stupid people, all from a center-left perspective. I also do my best to keep you up to date with the latest news in the world of vaping, from new products to government regulations and what they mean for you. Check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts, as well as thewireandwickpodcast.com.
vigilance, courage, and knowledge. If you like these qualities, then my show, IPE Pod Radio, may be for you. Oh yeah. Do you like vampires, demons, and all that go boo-boo in the night? Well, you shouldn't, because vampires and demons are very, very dangerous. If you want to educate yourselves regarding these dangers, then you better listen to the show. Our website is www.ipepodradio.com. You can find our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So begin utilizing the time of your ever-so-fragile lives to listen to our wonderful educational program. Thank you very much.
And we are back. So, what do we want to talk about? I don't even know.
You're one to talk about shadow people.
Okay, so so your only real experience with the shadow people was with where you thought you saw family members in the corner?
That was a dream for sure, but I've had a couple of different odd experiences with shadow people, ghosts, whatever you want to call them these days.
So are we talking about like?
Well,
I mean, when I was young, I walked into this person's house with my sister. I'd never been there before. And I looked down the hallway, and I swear I looked away and double-taked back, and then looked away again. But I swear I saw a little girl at the end of the hallway, and then as soon as I turned back, she was gone. Are we talking about something like that, or are we talking about like when you're sleeping?
Yes
or?
and no, because now a lot of it has...
That's what I think shadow people are. Stuff that you see like
while you're waking,
almost ghost
right?
figures, yeah.
Well, a lot of the people that have sleep paralysis usually see the shadow people, and it's a lot of the time it's just a shadowy figure of a obvious human, and you can tell it's a human. And sometimes they just stand there, like in a doorway, close to your bed, and it's not like Peter Pan's shadow, it's like a black figure coming closer to you. It's not like it's just up against the wall.
Something more or less menacing to you in your perception.
Right. And the reason I say it's mostly to the sleep paralysis people is if the shadow people aren't real, it's a dream. But to the shadow people that believe that they are real things, it could possibly be a ghost.
So are you saying both ways, like sleeping or awake? Or
Yeah, no,
like
either way. Just any kind of weird, shadowy figure.
Something where your mind tricks you into thinking you saw something, I guess.
Hold on, so you're saying that if you have sleep paralysis, you're more likely to see, like, if you're awake, you're more likely to see those ghostly figures than...
Well, I mean, with the sleep paralysis thing, like we covered before, different cultures
because I see those things all the time.
See different
things. But I
things.
don't have sleep paralysis.
But it's also your eyes are always like with bad lighting. Your eyes are always trying to adjust, and they're always trying to find light, and they're always trying to find shapes that they can recognize. And the shape that we see a lot of the time, maybe an animal, maybe a human. It may be something like have you ever walked into like a room and maybe there's a coat rack with a coat on it and you think it's a person right off the bat? That's what you think.
I've done that before.
Right,
yeah.
Because that's your eyes playing tricks on you, and it rounded out everything and it made it look like a head, and and that's why you react and you get scared because you're like, oh shit, that's a person.
Right, but not to freak you out though. Like this, that's happened to me before. But like when I've been standing down there in the kitchen and like you're asleep and I have to go in there and get a drink, and I'm in there getting a drink and I stand at the sink, like I saw something dark and I looked around and there wasn't nothing. But of course it scared me, and then it shoots again.
Right.
So like I don't see how that's my eyes adjusting.
Well, you're always adjusting. Like and you can't really see out of your peripherals. I mean, you can, but sometimes if something moves, like say a cat walks by, and it's out of your
Ain't no dang
peripherals,
cat.
but still you may I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. It could be a shadow off of your hand moving or something, or it could even be your hand.
Ask Rudy though. He's seen it.
What, here?
Yes.
Oh.
He said, because after I told him, I was like, you're talking about shadow people, and I told him about how whenever I was standing in the kitchen and how I see it a lot of the times here, like I'll see like little shadows out of the corner of my eye, and I'll look around for all the animals to make sure. And he's like, the first time I ever came over to y'all's house to do a podcast, he's like, I noticed those like little shadow things.
Well, when we were sitting down there at the table, down the thing, and I was facing toward the wall where you have the little cabinet and the cat stuff, and I kept looking over because I kept seeing something out of the peripheral move. I thought maybe it was a cat or whatever, and I thought maybe it could be the mirrors because there's mirrors right there. Maybe I was seeing my own reflection.
Right.
But I just kept seeing something move and nothing would be there.
That's weird.
Kind of like that time
Welcome
on your
home,
birthday
Toby.
when I was walking into your bathroom and something pushed me down and I hit your toilet with my head.
Yeah, maybe it was the alcohol that pushed you down and you broke my toilet, and it was broke for 2 months, and it was a miserable process.
It was not 2 months. I
takes
came
like
back
the-
and fixed
Yeah, you
that.
did.
Like
It
a
was like a
Thor
week.
hammer head to freaking break the top of a
He didn't break the
toilet
top
in
of it.
half.
He broke.
In half.
If you're looking at the square part of the
the
tank,
head of it.
he broke the bottom right corner of the toilet with
It
his
rocked
head.
it back on the bolts. And,
Yeah, no, it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I don't understand how his fucking thick head broke that son of a bitch.
Freaking strength of the whole.
Alcohol is your fucking shadow
I
person.
think it was
That's
you.
right.
You pushed me, Toby.
I'm a shadow person. Well, I have a weird. Okay, so shadow people could possibly be ghosts. That's one.
Or when
What-
people
what-
say ghosts, okay, so I think ghosts and spirits are almost two different things to me though. Like ghosts to me are like where you can see somebody almost like a figure that looks human formed that could be clothed or had the figures of clothes. Now a shadow person to me is like a dark figure that you can't make out.
Well,
And to me that seems more like a spirit.
What if? Okay, that's what I'm saying. What if a shadow person is a ghost, and it's just maybe there's steps of being a ghost. Like when you're first a ghost, you start out where you can't control your form, and then maybe you get to where you can I don't know. Maybe there's something to.
Well, I've never seen a ghost,
Yeah,
but I've
neither
seen
have
a shadow person.
I've felt. I look at like a ghost would be. I don't know if there's really ghosts. A ghost would be like an intellectual energy or something, in my opinion. Like a spirit would be more like something's emotions. Like when if you walk into something or you see something. Like I looked at a gravestone in Georgia of this girl. I can't remember what exactly happened, but it was in Savannah, Georgia. It's famous, but the grave marker just creeped me out. Like there was just such a almost an aura coming off of the eyes of the statue that it made me uncomfortable.
Now, see, now that reminds me, so like where like a ghostly figure, I have family members, like cousins that say that they've seen like ghosts. But I think maybe you have to be on a different level in the spiritual world, like almost tapped in differently. Like, I guess maybe it's, I'm trying to think of how you say
You're
it.
kind
Like,
of tuned in on a different wavelength.
like your aurora or whatever, like your aura or something, like your spirit aura. Like, you have to be more, like, into it, I guess, or be more believable, like, I guess,
Like
of
an
it.
energy frequency.
Yeah,
or
like your
signal,
energy has to
something
be
like
like
that.
more
Right.
tapped in. So I see maybe shadow people where if they have seen ghosts, I guess it's how somebody wants to communicate with you. But like when it comes to shadow people, like talking about cemeteries, whenever I lived in Sherman, Texas, I'll go ahead and tell people I don't care. I don't live there anymore. But we used to go to Culver, Oklahoma, and we'd go when I was probably about 10 years old, and we would go to an auction. Well, we all used to go and play hide and go seek in the cemetery that was right next to it. Well, there was always like town like Miss. There's this little bitty building there that they never tore down, and that was like a Girl Scout club. Well, at night you could see that, and you could see like a figure standing by it, and there was a light that was next to it, but the light would never. You couldn't see. There was no light post for the light. The light was just there, but you could see like a shadow figure. Like, see, to me, like that would be more of a ghostly figure versus like a spirit, where a spirit comes in and goes out. I don't know if this is any kind of theory or anything. I have a theory about like when you catch something out of the corner of your eye. I feel like the peripheral view of that you have, I believe that's kind of that's the only way you can see ghosts. If you can truly see ghosts or anything, or see any like weird things, I feel like that's how you would be able to see it, is out of your peripheral. And
like you see it, but it's out of focus.
Right? Yeah, it's like you. I feel like most people. I feel like people do see ghosts, but I feel like that's because they're. I
like
guess
a third eye.
Your third eye. I don't want to use the corny third eye thing, but like the peripheral is the third eye, and we don't know how to focus it. Just like the average person doesn't know how to focus it. So when you see something and it spooks you and you turn, your eyes can't focus to that weirdness, whatever it is, a ghost, a shadow person, something of this, not of this dimension, whatever it may be. We can't tune into it fully and get a real reading on it with. I don't know. It's just I feel like it's like a camera. You can't focus in on it. So, the different types of shadow people. There's different types. Some of them have been seen are not harm. They won't cause any kind of harm. Now, if they look like they're heavy, or darker, or wider. Those are like the negative ones. Those are the ones that you don't want around.
That's kind of biased. I mean, are you saying that fat people are bad?
Well, no, these
Fat shadow people.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a reasoning behind why the bigger, darker ones, but they want to cause fear, and they're there.
Maybe the darker, the heavier, the evil.
Well,
it could be an evil scale.
Maybe they're just able
Or it could
to
just
focus their energy more. That's why they're thicker and heavier.
Right.
Yeah.
or it could just be because people assume that an imposing figure is
Scary.
scary. I mean,
Well, like the slimmer version of them, or the normal person outline, like if you were just to see a normal person outline, those can be a deceased loved one or someone not trying to be a threat. They just are creepers, I guess, just watching you. But
But what if they were a bigger person and they died, so they're not going to come back as a heavier, like, looking shadow person? It's not everybody's family members are skinny.
are shadow figures even? Are they even viewed as ghosts or something like that? A returned spirit or something? Or are they just...
I don't know. I mean, this is just some of the stuff that I read that people have theorized. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever sat down and interviewed a shadow person, which we're open to. If you're a shadow person, please give us an email at secrettransmission@hotmail.com.
He just let that in, by the way. So
I opened
things
that
start
door.
getting weird.
No
yeah,
way.
I mean...
You'll know what'll happen. You know why? Here it is.
So there's also the black mist. It's like a moving shadow. These are intelligent and won't keep a human shape, so not to be detected. So it may be, you may have a lamp on, and it may just be like the whole back wall could be a shadow of and it'll just blend into where you can't see
Of a
it.
lamp.
I have seen a little one like that though.
Have you?
Yeah,
With your
straight on,
it's
straight on shadow little figure.
So you weren't like in the paralyzed state or anything?
No, I was fully awake. I was getting up.
Who wants to play Chinese fire alarm, and we can all switch seats right now?
I'm
I'm sitting next to Rudy, who's seen shadow people.
I got up out of bed. My light was on. I was watching TV. It was dark in the hallway in the living room and everything. And I'm looking down so I don't trip over anything. And as I look up, there's this little shadow, about 2 feet tall, sitting right outside the door. And as soon as I looked at it, it took off.
Gremlin.
Now, did it move or did it just dissipate?
No, it took off.
Ooh.
Like off to the side.
Ooh.
And I'm like, the first thing I thought, honestly, was holy shit, there's an animal in the house.
Right.
Because at the time, I didn't have my cat with me.
So was it straight on or was it peripheral?
It was straight on. I was looking down. I looked up right at it, and it, boom.
I'm
shot
sorry.
off.
I just got the, funniest, just picture in my head. I just thought of... Maybe you had a mouse, and the mouse is like, I'll show this fucking human. And gets behind the lamp, and was like, boom.
It's fucking Jerry from Tom and Jerry, and it's like...
It's like, I'm fucking
He's
Mighty
flipping
Mouse,
you off
bitch.
with his little...
So I looked throughout the house. I didn't see anything. So I go back to recreate it, and I can't recreate it.
Right.
You know, and I even take my glasses off, put my glasses back on. You know, I'm doing all kinds of things, and I can't redo it. So I don't know what I saw.
Ooh.
You know, I'm looking for a raccoon in the house. I'm looking for something.
Yeah, we live in Texas, so there's
big,
possibilities
so...
of all those animals.
When you saw whatever you saw in our old recording studio, aka the dining room,
right?
What did it? Was it a person?
No, it was just little movements off to my side. Like I was thinking maybe that one of your cats had run by, or
right.
you know, the dog was running by or something. But
you're sure it wasn't just Toby's intense sexual aura?
Well, he was sitting over. He was sitting in front of me. So I mean, if he's off to my right, all of a sudden, that's some pretty intense sexual aura.
I'm sorry,
it fills up the room anywhere I go. I'm sorry, guys.
But I can see the peripheral thing here. You know, that one experience. But this was full on. Look straight at it. Wide awake.
Have you ever had any full person
one time that I can remember, and it was years ago, just once. Me and my brother were playing hide and seek in the dark,
and you're awake. This isn't one of the sleep paralysis.
Nope.
See, that's I want to make it clear because I don't want it to fall into.
No.
If it does fall into sleep paralysis, that's fine. But I want people to know this isn't. Oh, I was dreaming and I maybe saw something.
I was awake. My brother was awake. I was early 20s. He was in 13, 14, and we were playing hide and seek, running around, right,
20s.
in the dark.
Sober?
Yeah. And I was in one room looking down the hallway, and he was in another room to my left. And I saw him peek his head out, and I saw him take off. I hear the footsteps and everything, so I run out to go get him. As I run past the room, he bumps into me. Because he was just running out because he saw me run past the...
Oh,
so what if you can see demon, demonic, ghosts that can shape shift? You're
that's a possibility.
I mean, what if a ghost is trying to do that and they want to be close to you and they can shape shift to something?
That's what's scary about these things. If these things are real, this is what's scary about them. Why couldn't it be a demon, like you're saying? Or it could be something else called a jinn, which is basically a genie. A jinn can take shape of anything and trick you. I mean, it could be a number of things, that doesn't...
So shadow people have sixth sense of humor, and
why not? People have sixth senses of humor.
I know it, but it's
why
already
can't
bad enough.
Why can't otherworldly creatures have sixth senses of humor?
Because that's having
really.
double weaponry. Because it's you can already scare somebody by not even existing and them seeing you, and then now they're gonna shapeshift, and then that's double whammy.
Well, let's take a small break, and
my drink does need to be filled.
You need another drink, so we'll come back, and I'm gonna tell you about the scariest shadow person.
Hey, Mr. Salone, have you heard of the Movie Source Rex podcast? I don't know much about the Movie Source Rex podcast, but I hear that it's a really great podcast, great movie show. They got impressions. They're not good impressions, but they're impressions. They got movie news. They got movie discussion. I don't know much about the movie discussion, but go see my new movie, Expendables 10,
If you want to hear more stuff like this, head over to the Moviesaurus Rex podcast.
Or don't.
Or don't. It don't really fucking matter, does it? Do what you want. But yeah, maybe do. Or don't.
Please.
Please listen to us.
Where can people find us?
They can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. And they can get in contact with the show via Twitter by tweeting at MRexPodcast. That's at MRexPodcast. Is that alright?
Our state of mind, our perception, our thoughts build up the world around us. Do you want to be a slave of your mind or seize control and live the life you've always wanted? The choice is yours. Join me on Almighty Psyche and find out how you and I are the creators of our own universe. Follow me on Twitter, Almighty Psyche. Follow me on Facebook.com/AlmightyAndre. Send me an email for any questions or any topics that you'd like to cover at almighty.andre@genkstudios.com, almighty.andrey@genkstudios. See you soon, almighty listeners.
And we are back. So, now, if you haven't heard our sleep paralysis episode, or if you have heard, then you know what is the scariest shadow person. It is the Hat Man. The Hat Man is exactly what it sounds like. He's a shadowy figure who wears a hat.
So obviously, if you're wearing a hat in someone's subconscious, you're a rapist or some kind of evil figure.
No, in this one, he's the leader.
He is the leader. Well, that's what everyone assumes.
So you're the mastermind if you're wearing a hat.
Right, everyone assumes that he is the leader. And sometimes people have reported that the Hat Man has red glowing eyes along with his shadowy figure.
So he's attributed to various Western diabolical figures.
No, he's evil.
Oh.
Asshole.
Was that not talk?
No, you're fine now.
Okay.
So, a lot of people do report seeing the Hat Man when they see the shadow people, which is scary. That it's not just one person reporting a hatted figure human. You know? Like, if it's... I feel like when something gets reported multiple times, that's when it gives its, like, a little bit of...
But could it be being reported multiple times because it's getting out there?
Traveling story.
Right.
Yeah, but even some of them are first-time cases of hearing about it, you know?
But people attribute hats to defining a person. It's widely, I mean, there's so many songs about hats and don't touch a man's hat and a hat decides what you are. I mean, that more or less could just be a subconscious error. I mean, I don't know how to say it.
What if the hat, okay, so the hat guy, though, they say is the one that will come the closest to you in sleep paralysis. Like, a lot of people say that they see, like, figures in the corners, but they say the Hat Man is, like, one of the ones that will actually, like, will be the most interactive with you, and he also brings other shadow people with him.
That's why they think he's the leader.
So that's why I wonder, like, I always, like, last time that we talked about this, like, I didn't really think about it, but what if, like, you know how they say if you're in the middle of a dream and you fall off a cliff, some people actually die, like, if they hit the bottom, but most people wake up before they hit the bottom?
Right.
What if you don't wake up during the sleep paralysis, and what if the hat guy is there to steal your soul?
How would you know, though? How would anyone...
I don't know. You never know until it happens.
Well,
but what if he's there and people...
happens, so.
But people actually, somehow their brain kicks
So,
in. You know, kind of like the dream of hitting the bottom. Like, what if you never wake up from the sleep paralysis and he gets close enough to you and the shadow people gets close enough to you to take you?
Do you think that the Hat Man could be some kind of Grim Reaper?
Yes.
In that case?
Yes,
Well,
that's why when y'all talk about the hat person last time, that's what I thought about, because the Grim Reaper, he wears a flat, that says, everybody always says that it's a guy wearing a flat, round hat, like
A wide brim hat.
Yeah,
like
and that's what the
something
Grim
like that.
Reaper is always shown to wear,
See,
with skulls around it.
anyone
and
that's ever-
a long coat.
The pictures that people depict of the Hat Man, it almost looks like a what's it called? Like the hats that the guys in the 50s
Jeepers Creepers.
Bowler
it looks like
hats?
Jeepers
bowler
Creepers
hats, kind
hat.
of like. And sometimes they draw out the visor part to be longer.
It's the same hat the guy in Jeepers Creepers wears.
I guess, yeah. I guess
A wide brim hat, like something that usually is shaded a face. It skews your view of them. Like, there's never really a depiction of death where it is defined in a certain sense. He never has a face. I mean, they may show death as a skeleton, but I mean, when you think about any kind of death and any kind of religion, death is usually many-faced or
he has no
or
face.
no face.
or no-faced. I mean, I don't know.
so. If the shadow people are real, people have come up with theories on how to get rid of them. Would you like to hear them?
Sure.
Sure.
The first thing you might want to try is ignore it. And that's you ignore it, and sometimes this will backfire, and it'll actually increase the activity of the said ghost, and this is the same for ghosts. Like shadow people, ghosts, it's pretty much the same ideas. Like,
So pretty much you do the same thing that you would tell a kid to do. Pretty much close your eyes and just tell yourself that
it's
not
not
real.
there. Yeah. You can also use humor. Since fear is your biggest enemy in the case, try injecting some light humor. Most people have a sense of humor. So,
Tell the hat person a joke.
yeah.
And he'll disappear.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Yeah.
Shadow person.
These nuts.
God, got him.
Shadow Man just look at you. This guy's an idiot. Let's go.
It's not even worth stealing.
Not even worth stealing.
The soul's not even worth stealing. Just leave.
It's a horrible knock joke.
So you can also try to see if they're trying to communicate with you, like talk to them, ask them like, why are you here?
How's your day going? What'd you have for dinner?
Well,
Can you let
they
me
may be
wake
trying
up?
they may be trying to tell you of something. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah, but if multiple people have seen him, I don't,
well, this is for all shadow people. Like,
Oh.
if you get just one of the light ones. So the last thing, the last piece of advice that I've found is you can just tell it to leave. Just go away.
Take a stand.
Yes.
Significant power of will against dark forces, something like that.
So yeah, you just either tell it a knock joke or tell it to leave.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'll be
Hate
here
to
all
cut
week.
your visit short, but
I mean,
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
It can be humorous, but human will's a pretty powerful thing. I mean, look at everything humans have created or done. It's pretty crazy what we've done as a animal. I mean, when you think about it,
Just with our pure will.
and intelligence. I mean,
So are you outsmarting a shadow person when you're just like, leave, and they're like, oh,
well, I mean,
okay.
new.
it's not
No
so
one's ever
much
said that to me before.
outsmarting it. It's a force of will against an evil.
But here's the
force,
thing
I
also
mean-
too though. They would have to be mind readers because if you are in sleep paralysis and seeing the shadow person, they say you can't talk.
Yeah.
So how are you going to tell it to leave?
I wonder if, well, maybe you just will your
So
thoughts
in your
to
mind, you're
them.
going, let me know if you're getting this.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Blink once with your red eyes if you're getting this.
Okay, so let me ask you. Caleb, start with you. Do you believe that these shadow people are real? Of some sort. Maybe they are ghosts, maybe they're demons, maybe they're of another dimension, but do you believe that shadow people are real? With everything that we've talked about.
Man, I don't really claim to know a whole lot. there's various things that could be real or could not be real.
Gun to your head.
No.
No, it's just
Mind tricks.
mind tricks. Okay, that's your final answer.
Yeah, I believe we can talk ourselves into thinking a lot of things that aren't real, but
Right.
I mean, I grew up in a religious family, and I believe humans search for what's out there, and
We open doors that shouldn't be opened.
yeah, more or less.
You try to make sense out of stuff, and
We try to make sense out of things that don't really matter. I mean, when you think about it,
yeah.
what can a spirit really do to you if you don't allow it to do any? I mean, that's all your perception and how you let things affect you when you think about it. Tell me a ghost story that hasn't been a vulnerable person in a bad situation that felt some kind of crazy experience that was just off the wall. When were they not in a heightened emotional state?
Right.
I'm a realist. I don't know.
So no.
No, but
No. Gun to your head.
am I claiming to be an expert? No.
No.
I mean,
We said
I
that
believe that energy is
We
the only thing that
Is
keeps
emitted.
going.
We said it at the beginning of the show that we're not professionals, so we
Yeah,
cover
yeah.
that pretty good.
Okay, yeah. I'll end my answer there. No, I don't care for shadow people at all.
Okay, Kristen.
I believe that it exists, and I believe that the episodes exist. As for them being real, they're not real. I mean, to an extent, but I believe they are real to the person who's experiencing them. But I can't say yes or no because I've never experienced it myself. And that's exactly what I said the last time. I believe that it's out there. I believe that it happens to people. I believe that there are such thing as shadow people in sleep paralysis. I believe there is shadow stuff as in out of your peripheral vision or seeing it just there. But I'm not saying that it's not real. I just know that it just hasn't happened to me, so I can't say.
So you're taking a hard no? Gun to your head?
No.
Gun to your head. Hard yes, hard no. No?
Hard yes.
Hard yes that they
Hard
do
yes
exist?
that
Okay.
it exists.
Rudy?
I personally have seen and experienced too many things for me to not believe it.
Right.
But as to where they come from, I don't know. My favorite theory as to what they are is maybe we're catching glimpses of another dimension because they seem to scatter just as quickly as we see them.
See, that's where I sit with it a little bit, but I'll get into what I think in a minute.
Who's to say that, this other plane, this other dimension doesn't have creatures that are both passive and aggressive?
Right.
If we're able to see them, why can't they see us as the same thing?
Right.
So that's what I'd like to think. If what it is actually exists.
So you're a yes?
Oh yeah, I'm a yes.
Okay, so I'm a yes. I'm straight up front forward. I'm a yes. I believe that the shadow people are real. I kind of take the stance that you take, that it's another dimensional thing. I mean, this is a gun to my head with a yes. If I'm gonna believe in it, I believe that there's another dimension. I believe the peripheral is the key to the other dimensions. If I'm gonna believe in other dimensions, it's not saying that, I believe that your peripherals, and I hate saying the third eye thing. The third eye sounds so lame, but I feel like that's where, if the third eye thing exists, it's the peripherals. And that's like you said, another dimension. You're seeing maybe a shadow bleeding over into our world. And that's why sometimes it happens so quickly. And I believe that's the same with ghosts. I believe that's the same with Bigfoot. I believe that if it's going to exist, it's because of some kind of other universe, and it's just leaked over just for a minute, just to... And we catch it. And that's why it's always out of the peripheral, and you think you see it. But those people that do see it straight on, I do believe that they have something that like I don't have to see these things.
It's kind of like solipsism. You can't disprove it, but you can't prove it. You're the only one who can perceive what you perceive.
Right. And that's I mean, that's what I'm saying about these people that can see it straight on compared to me who may catch a glimpse out of it because I'm not fully in tune to that.
But then again, you don't realize what's going on in your mind. I mean, you can or can't see things, but then there's always that in between of when you're focusing on something, like you said earlier, that your eyes tend to pick out figures that are familiar.
Right. See, and that's the other thing that I also believe that you're going to see these things when you least expect them because you're not focusing on... I feel like these things happen when you're not focusing on anything really in particular. Like, if I see something that catches my eye out of the peripheral, it's usually like I'm walking from the living room to the kitchen or something, and I have a direction. I know I'm going to the refrigerator or the sink or whatever, but I'm not like focused in, and that's when I feel like you are able to see those shadows or whatever. So, like I said, I give the shadow people a yes. I hope if they are real, they are not violent, and I don't see them.
We're rooting for you. Don't come after us.
Yes, we don't. I don't need the Hat Man staring at me while I'm sleeping. That would be awful. So I think that's gonna end this episode. Everyone want to say bye?
See ya.
Later.
So like we said, that's going to end this show. Please don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Secret Transpod. That's at SecretTranspod. Our show is available on Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and iTunes. And also on iTunes, please give us a review and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to contact us for some reason, for a show suggestion or for any other reason, just send us an email at secrettransmission@hotmail.com. Also, don't forget to check out the other podcasts that we ran promos during our breaks, the IPE Pod Radio, the Wire and Wick podcast, Movie Source Rex podcast, and the Almighty Psyche. All of these shows are available on iTunes. We'll be posting a new episode every 2 weeks on Friday, sometime sooner. So please come back and listen to us try to explain the unexplainable.
Ready to say goodbye, Roger?
Well, I'm just speaking from myself and Toby. If you are a shadow person, bring it on, motherfucker.
No.
No, he's not talking for us.
No, I am talking for... No.